Homes in Aberdeenshire have been evacuated after the River Ythan burst its banks, amid heavy rain across eastern Scotland. Residents, including elderly people and babies, were moved from properties in Inverurie as some water levels reached record highs. The Scottish Environment Protection Agency, Sepa, issued 2 severe flood warnings, meaning danger to life. The rail line between Aberdeen and Dundee was closed but later reopened. Some 38 properties in Port Elphinstone, near Inverurie, evacuated overnight and 18 homes evacuated in Ellon as River Ythan overflowed. Scottish Hydroelectric said more than 250 homes were still without power in Ellon and Kintore, said to be unsafe for engineers to restore supplies. On the trains, services to and from Central Belt were starting and terminating at Dundee, but ScotRail said by mid-morning the lines were open again. Services between Aberdeen and Inverness also severely affected. Aberdeen International Airport runway has reopened after repairs. Sepa said river levels still peaking in Aberdeenshire. River Ythan at Park Hill peaked at 5.537 m, the previous high was 4.168 m in November 2002. 24 roads closed in Aberdeenshire and about 13 in Tayside. More than 30 Aberdeenshire schools shut or partially closed on Friday due to weather. NHS Grampian residents advised those with private water supply to drink bottled water. The Met Office has further yellow warnings for rain and snow covering many parts of Scotland. Drivers in southern Scotland on snow and ice alert. Police Scotland declared a major incident overnight. Aberdeenshire Council said it faced an escalating emergency response and had a very challenging night. BBC correspondent Kevin Keane said residents in their 80s were among those evacuated in Port Elphinstone. He said some had been led to ambulances to keep warm while waiting for rescue boats, as dozens of homes flooded. An emergency rest centre became inaccessible because of flood water, and rescue efforts were also hampered by freezing temperatures and snow. The area was also affected by a power cut. Tremendous spirit. David Barrick runs a hotel in Inverurie which escaped the flooding and has offered free rooms to people affected. He said, "We are full now and we've got people in the reception area and people in the lounge area. The bar is busy, so it's quite a social event actually. There's tremendous spirit." Steve Russell was among those forced to leave their homes in Inverurie, where the river flooded streets just after midnight. He said, "We fortunately had name of the local hotel who was prepared to offer all and sundry a bed or a floor. We spent the night there, sleeping in chairs or on the floor, and we are now preparing to go back and see what we are going to be presented with in daylight." Shelley Douglas, in Kintore, also told BBC Scotland the community spirit was strong. She said, "It just hasn't let up. It finally stopped raining a couple of hours ago, but the community has pulled together. They have been absolutely amazing, getting sandbags and even using pillowcases as sandbags. Not just in Kintore, but from Kemai and Inverurie and surrounding areas as well." During the evacuation, Ewan Murray from the Scottish Ambulance Service in Aberdeen, told BBC Scotland it was a complicated rescue operation. He said there were torrents of water running down the streets. Travel warning. Supt Campbell Thompson, Divisional Commander for the North East Division of Police Scotland, said, "A major incident was declared due to the severity of the warnings in place and the potential for serious impact on communities. A number of roads throughout the region remain closed and I want to remind the public of the need to travel with extreme caution. With freezing temperatures expected, conditions will be hazardous and you should only travel if essential." He added, "I want to acknowledge the tremendous efforts of emergency services and partners and indeed the community in the way they have responded to the prolonged adverse weather, which is some of the worst conditions we have seen for many years." ScotRail's Rob Shorthouse told BBC Radio Scotland's Good Morning Scotland programme, "We're trying to get buses into the area to get people moving, but there are real problems with the roads as well. We are doing everything we can, but it's a very, very challenging morning. The advice is don't just turn up, get in touch with us before you set off this morning to find out what's going on." The flooding followed December being the wettest month for the UK in more than a century. On Thursday evening, larger aircraft were unable to take off from Aberdeen International Airport after damage to the runway, causing some flights to be diverted. The tarmac is believed to have bubbled up due to heavy rain. Richard Brown, head of hydrology for the Scottish Environmental Protection Agency, Sepa, said water levels around the River Ythan were pretty exceptional. He told BBC Scotland, "We have had a gauging station up at Alford for the last 42 years and it has exceeded anything we have ever recorded."